There are a number of parallels between the stand-up comedy world and the public speaking world. In this video, I'll share with you some of the lessons that you can learn from the stand-up comedy world and apply them to your speeches. First lesson is get the audience's attention from the very beginning. Now, in the stand-up comedy world, you'd think this should be relatively easy. You're often standing in a dark room with just a spotlight on the comedian on stage. So there's nothing else for the audience to be distracted by. But what was taught in the comedy course was you still need to get their attention early. You need to start strong. So in the comedy world, that means finding your best joke and using that to open your set with. In the public speaking world, it's similar. You might be standing in front of an audience, there's nothing else for them to look at apart from you, but you still need to earn their attention. The reason? Often audience members have other things that they're thinking about, a conversation that they were in the middle of as they walked into the room, emails that they need to respond to, what they need to do when they get home in the evening. Whatever it is, you need to cut through the distractions that they have in their mind and get their attention. So, similar to a comedian, as a public speaker, you need to start strong and get the audience's attention from the very beginning. If you don't, you will struggle right the way through your speech. Address the elephants in the room. You'll often see a comedian stand up and deliver speeches, and he'll talk about personal traits and personal characteristics that are patently obvious to the audience. Whether it's a physical disability, whether it's about their size, their weight, something that is stark to the audience that the audience can see and that the comedian knows that they will be thinking about. The reason the comedian does this is to address those elephants, to take that tension away from the audience. If, for example, if the comedian's overweight, the comedian will often make jokes about that to move the audience's focus from that. So that the comedian knows that they're going to be thinking about it. He becomes self-depreciating, which builds a connection with his audience, and then he can move on to do other jokes. If he doesn't, the other jokes that he delivers will be less effective because the audience will still be looking at and assessing his personal characteristics, what's patently obvious to everyone in the room. So you need to take away that tension. In the public speaking world, it's exactly the same. If there is something that you're aware of that you know the audience is going to be thinking of, but it doesn't have to be a personal trait or a personal characteristic. It could be that the room is too hot, too cold, that there is a problem with the projector, that there is something that's going on in the minds of your audience. It could also be, for example, an announcement that's just been made prior to you standing up and speaking, that you know the audience is going to be churning through in their mind. If that's the case, if you know there is something that the audience is going to be thinking about, then you need to at least make mention of it, address it, show that you're not completely ignorant of it. By doing so, you'll build a connection with your audience. And what happens is your audience says, okay, well, the speaker is aware of it, they have it under control. You might not be able to do anything about it, but you're at least acknowledging to your audience that you are aware of it. This puts their mind at ease and allows you to move on and deliver the rest of your speech and the rest of your presentation. When you do this, they'll listen to the rest of your presentation. So you need to remove the tension. If there's something that's going to be going on across the minds of the audience, it's common to everyone. Address the elephant in the room, make mention of it, and allow your audience to move past it to listen to the rest of your speech. It goes without saying, a comedian is expected to make the audience enjoy themselves. A comedian that doesn't get his audience to enjoy themselves, to make them laugh, to make them smile, is not really a comedian. He's failing, he or she is failing miserably. Now, in the speaking world, you might not have to stand up and deliver a joke. You're not expected to make people laugh for the entire time of your speech. But regardless of the situation, whether you're delivering a speech at a wedding or delivering a presentation to the boardroom, if you can make your audience enjoy themselves, if you can bring a smile, you can engage them so that they listen more. They'll enjoy the presentation, they'll absorb more, and they are much, much more likely to follow what it is you want them to do. If you're looking to persuade a board to approve your project, for example, if you can bring a smile to their face and make them enjoy the presentation, you're much more likely to be successful. So similar to a comedian, when we're standing up delivering a speech or delivering a presentation, if our audience enjoys themselves, we'll enjoy ourselves, and we're much more likely to get the outcome we want. So please, put time and effort into making sure that your presentations are enjoyable to listen to. When a comedian stands on stage with just a spotlight on him and every other part of the room darkened, there is an expectation that he will deliver. The expectation that he'll be funny, that he'll be entertaining for 10 minutes he's on stage, the 20 minutes, the 45 minutes, however long it is, that comedian has to deal with the expectation that they're going to be funny from start to finish. When you stand up to deliver a speech, you don't necessarily have the expectation that you're going to be funny, but you do face the expectation that you will deliver. Whether it's from family at a wedding, whether it's from your friends, colleagues, your boss at work, from clients. When you stand up to deliver a speech, there is an expectation that you will deliver. You will do a good speech that will be enjoyable and that will achieve a particular purpose. You need to be aware of this expectation, not let it overwhelm you and overpower you so that it cripples you to the point that you can't get up. But you need to ensure that you put in the preparation. A comedian doesn't get on stage and deliver jokes ad lib. A comedian's gone in the background, done their homework, they've put together some jokes, they've tested them, they've ensured that they get laughs, so that when they stand up on the big stage, when they stand there to deliver their material, they know that it's going to get laughs. In a speech, you need to ensure that you do appropriate testing, validation and preparation to ensure that your material achieves the purpose that you want it to do. So your speech or your presentation hits the mark. If you can do that, the expectation upon you that you will deliver will be met. It's speakers that don't do the preparation that struggle and suffer with this expectation. Don't let you be one of them. It was a nerve-wracking experience as I stood up and delivered my very first comedy set. But there was some comfort that I could tie things back to the public speaking world to help settle those nerves. So, you can do the same. Take these lessons. You can take these lessons and apply them, and it will help you get more comfortable and get more prepared. I got slightly more comfortable on the stand-up comedy stage that night. I even got a few laughs. Who knows? When it's your turn to speak, when you next stand up to deliver a presentation and you use these lessons, maybe you'll get a few laughs. Either way, I'm sure that your speeches, your presentation will be much more successful for applying these lessons. Good luck.